Hello everyone, welcome to BMC Helix Remedy Force webinar. My name is Pradip. In this webinar, we are going to learn user management best practices. If you have any questions, please put those in chat windows and we shall be able to answer. Let us review agenda for today. I will be covering user management best practices, configuration, how you can create a user and deactivate a user, some of the issues, how you can troubleshoot those. Overview. User management: creating and managing users that use Remedy4 and self-service. Provide information about creating and managing profiles, permission sets, roles, accounts, and queues. In user management best practices, we'll see user creation and modification, user activation and deactivation, and its impact of user deactivation on data, profiles, and queue management, availability, and roles. Now we will see best practices for user management. Assigning the right profiles, roles, and data access means you will have more flexibility in the future. Consider a comprehensive user management strategy that incorporates these best practices. First, create logins. The most basic aspect of user management is creating usernames and login accounts for your users. In just few clicks, you can send a team member their login and get them into the platform. Second, assign accurate profiles to grant object access. Profiles determine which objects user can access. The most common distinction of the standard profiles is system admin profile, which is out of box, versus standard user. The system admin has access to setup and all objects as they are the ones maintaining the platform. You can create custom profiles with fine-tuned access for different teams. Third, increase object access through permission sets. Permission sets grant access to objects outside profiles. They are helpful when specific users need access to objects outside their profiles. They need grant access to objects on an as-needed basis. Fourth, assign accurate roles to grant record access. Roles in many ways mimic how your team is structured in real life. Admins create a role hierarchy and assign users to each role to organize users into a management chain. Assigning users to a role hierarchy makes records accessible within their team. Fifth, determine and grant data access. Org-wide defaults and sharing rules determine what data is private and what data is shared with other users. These settings comes in handy when working across a large team with varying data security needs. Sixth, learn about multi-factor authentication requirement. Now, customer trust is our highest priority at Salesforce platform. Eventually, it's a Remedyforce platform, which is why there is security built in our products from the ground up. As the security threats go more common, it's important to implement strong security measures that protect your business. That's why starting February 1st, 2022, Salesforce going to enable multi-factor authentication for all of the customers in order to accept Salesforce product. You can read our blogs multi-factor authentications. Also, you can navigate to reference links, multi-factor FAQ document. I have attached those in reference links so you can have more detail on multi-factor authentication. You will also find related videos. Also, In user management, you can refer the licensing chart as shown. System administrator, it will have Salesforce license and it will have profile system administrator. A staff will have Salesforce platform license and profile will have service desk staff. A change management will have Salesforce platform service desk change manager as a profile. Release coordinator will have license Salesforce platform, service desk change manager as a profile, and Remediforce administrator can have Salesforce platform license as well as he can be a Salesforce license, and a profile would be service desk staff, service desk change manager, any profile associated with the Salesforce license. So this is how you can manage your user assigning profile and respective license. This is how you can follow the best practices while managing your users in Remediforce org. Now we will see configuration of manage users. In Remediforce administration, you will have an option manage users. So when you click on Remediforce administration tab on the home page, you can click manage user style, and from the menu you can select and edit user. You can add a new user by clicking on new user. From the user license list, select the appropriate license as shown in the previous slide. From the role list, select a role for the staff member. From the profile list, select the required profile. Select the service desk staff checkbox for a BMC Remediforce staff member and then click Save. We will see this in the demo part. Also, you will receive a request to deactivate a user. Let us see how you can deactivate a user. Deactivating user prevents access and preserves historical activity and records. User is not deleted outright. You cannot completely delete the user from your org. However, you can deactivate it. Remediforce license is automatically freed up for reassignment to another user once you deactivate a user. Now steps to deactivate user. From setup, in a quick find box, enter username, select user and click edit next to a user's name. Deselect the active checkbox and click save. This is how you can deactivate user. I will show you this in the demo part. However, before deactivating a user, you need to consider few things. Here are the considerations for deactivating user. So feature and functions which are affected and the best practices for that. So situations preventing deactivations, you need to freeze login and reassign the ownership. There are some situations can prevent you from deactivating a user. In these cases, you must freeze the user's account first to prevent logins while you reassign ownership, memberships, and so on as needed. Then you can deactivate later. User licenses and billing. A deactivated user doesn't count against your organization's available user licenses. However, deactivating a user doesn't reduce the number of licenses of which your organization is built. To change your billing, you must change your organization's license count. Users in custom hierarchy fields. You can't deactivate a user that's selected in a custom hierarchy field. Even if you delete the field, to deactivate a user in the custom hierarchy field, delete and permanently erase the fields first. Now process builder. Processes can't update records that are owned by inactive users. When you deactivate a user, also transfer that user's record to an active user to avoid failed processes. Similar with workflow email alert recipients. You can't deactivate a user that's assigned as the sole recipient of a workflow email alert. Now customer portal administrator users. You can't deactivate a user that's selected as a custom portal administrator. Record access. Deactivated users lose access to any records that were manually shared directly with them or implicitly shared with them as a team member. Users higher in the role hierarchy relative to the deactivated users also lose access to those records. However, you can still transfer their data to other users and view their names on the users page. Chatter. If you deactivate users in an organization where chatter is enabled, they are removed from the following and followers list. If you reactivate the users, the subscription information in the following and followers list is restored. If you deactivate multiple users, subscription information isn't restored for users that follow each other. For example, user A follows user B and user B follows user A. If you deactivate user A and B, their subscriptions to each other are deleted from following and followers list. If user A and user B are then reactivated, their subscription to each other aren't restored. Now let's say for Salesforce files. Salesforce files owned by deactivated user are not deleted. The deactivated user is the file owner until an admin reassigns the files to an active users. Files shared in a content library can be edited by other library members with author or deleted permissions. Sharing rules remain active until an admin modifies them. Created by fields. Inactive users can be listed in created by fields even when they are no longer active in an organization. Accounts and opportunities owned by deactivated users. Admin can create and edit accounts, opportunities, and custom object records that are owned by inactive users. Enterprise territory management. Deactivated users are no longer assigned to territories and are removed from the territories they are assigned to. Opportunities and account teams. Deactivated users are removed from the default opportunity and account teams of other users. The deactivated users' default opportunity and account teams are not removed. Account teams. When a user on an account has read-write access to account contact opportunity and case is deactivated and reactivated, access defaults to read-only. Now opportunity teams. If you deactivate users in an organization where opportunity splitting is enabled, they are not removed from any opportunity teams where they are assigned a split percentage. To remove a user from an opportunity team, first reassign the split percentage. Delegated external user admins. When a delegated external user admin deactivates a portal user, the admin cannot remove the portal user from teams that the user is a member of. Now we will see demo. Log into RemedyForce as a system administrator. Go to RemedyForce administration. Click on Manage Users drop-down box. Under this tile, you would be able to see Add and Edit User. Click on it. You'll appear this page, Users. From here, you can click New User. Once you click on New User, you would be able to see the page to fill the detail for a user. You will see this user edit page. In this page, you can fill the user details. For example, I'm going to create a new user, admin Brown. It will capture the alias and the email ID. You need to provide the email ID. For example, I have the details with me, and then it will capture, once you hit the tab, it will capture username and nickname. You can give a title as per your requirement. Then company information, you can fill the company information. Then you can fill the department and division. Now the most important part is user license. You need to assign the user license. So as described in my previous slide, you can refer the chart how you can assign the licenses to a specific user. So here I'm going to create a service desk staff user. So I will assign him Salesforce license platform, and the profile I'm going to select is service desk staff, and the role I'm going to select is service desk. You can also refer the link which I have shared in the preferences. So here you can create is so here you can refer the link adding or editing users. Here you will also see the same chart which I have mentioned. So staff license Salesforce platform and profile is service desk staff. And if you would like to assign this user as an offline user, marketing user, flow user, accessibility, and so on, these details you can fill as per your requirement. Also, the details of call center, phone, extension, fax, mobile, and then email encoding, you have the options. So keep this as a default, and if there is an employee number, individuals, these details you can fill for this particular user. For his mailing address, if you have this information ready, you can fill this information. Also a federation ID. Now the important part is from BMC Helix perspective, user details. This is the most important aspect, as in if the service desk is a staff user, then you need to click this checkbox. If you want to have this additional permissions, if he is a knowledge management user, then you can select a checkbox. And the other details, out of office, manage service desk member, service remedy force administrator, manage quick views, enable chats, and CI management view, asset management view. So these details you can refer to this link, and under the additional permissions for staff members, you can refer these fields and their goals and the related information. So you will have the details with you handy. You can refer and choose accordingly. Once you complete this information, then the locale setting is one of the important things you can take into consideration. It will be as per your time zone, and the locale is United States, United Kingdom, and so on. So you can select as per your requirement. And the language, there are various languages you can choose. And the approver settings, under this approver settings you will have delegated approver. If you want to have this user as a delegated approver, then you can fill this delegated approver. Manager, to whom you would like this user to be assigned, under which manager you can define. And here is the approval request emails to be received. Then you will have these options, you can select one of them. And there is a checkbox, generate a new password and notify user immediately. So once you check this, the password will be created and it will be notified user right now. If you want to do it later, you can do that. So example, I have checked this and I saved this user. Sometimes you will receive duplicate username if the user is already created. Now in my case, as a demo user, I had already created, so duplicate username I found. Now in this case, to change the username, so I will add something one, and which will be differentiated as a username. So I will save this information now, and here is the user created. Now the additional permission sets you can assign. So if you scroll down here, you can find once the user is created, this additional permission sets you can assign this user. Permission set assignment, permission set assignments, activation required, and permission set group assignments, permission set license assignments, and so on. So personal groups, if there is a group defined in your org, then you can add this user in that particular group. Public group memberships, if there are public groups, then you can add this user in the public group if you would like to have the membership. Now the key membership, again, the list of queues in your org, if already there, then if you would like to add this user as a queue member, then you can add him. And the teams and managers in the role hierarchy, and these details you can refer for this particular user. And the managed packages here, these are the licenses, and login history. You can download the login history for this user for last 6 months. So this is how you can add the permissions to this users. Let us see this most important aspect of permission set assignments. So once you click on edit assignment, you will see the standard or out of box permission sets. Now if you refer the link for service desk staff member, you can add out of box permission sets. Click on this link and you will be able to see what are these out of box permission sets for service desk staff user. So out of box permission sets for service desk staff, this is the permission set name and role is staff member. So once you see in this available permission sets, you'll find the permission set you can add and save this. So for staff member, you have added service desk staff permission set. This is how you can create a user. And anytime if you want to edit any information, then you simply need to click on edit button, and the details you can modify for this user. Anytime if the user requested for reset password, you can simply click on reset password, and you will prompt for this reset password for this user. You need to click OK. User will be notified with a new user password link which has been sent via email for this email ID.
We will see another demo part, how to deactivate a user. Go to setup, under the setup users and the list of users, the user which you have created, which is active user, edit. This is the active checkbox, you need to deactivate. Here you will receive a pop-up. Deactivating users removes them from all delegated groups and sharing privileges. The following page prompts you to remove this user from any teams. You can still transfer this user's record to an active user and view the user's name under the manage users. You need to click OK and make sure you took into consideration the pointers which we already discussed before deactivating user in the previous slides. Once you confirm the details, then you can proceed to deactivate a user. Then simply save this. The user will be deactivated. Now the licenses will be freed for this particular user. Coming back to the slides of troubleshooting guide, BMC Remedy Force has some troubleshooting guide. You can navigate to the docs and search product Remedy Force and navigate to troubleshooting as shared in this image. Some of the common troubleshooting issues like how to delete an account from Remedy Force. So there is a cause. Salesforce does not allow to delete any created user. Instead, you can deactivate any user that you need to, but deleting is not possible in Salesforce. So you can refer this solution article reference number in BMC Remedy Force community doc. Salesforce does not allow deletion of users, but users can be deactivated, so they no longer have access to Salesforce or Remedy Force. You can refer the steps to deactivating a user, and also I've shared in the demo part how to deactivate a user. So below are the steps. Moving on to another common issues, problem statement. Unable to deactivate a user with the error cannot inactive user, that is the value of a hierarchy field. There is a cause. This happens if the user has a custom field that has hierarchy as the data type. You can refer the solution mentioned in the knowledge article reference number. You can follow this below steps to resolve this issue. You need to click on gear icon under the setup, and on setup page enter the users in the quick find box. Select the users on the left hand side. Click users under administration and select user. Check the hierarchy field for every user. This is the field that data type hierarchy in the user object. Remove the affected username from every other user's hierarchy field. Verify if the issue has been resolved by deactivating the user. We can see this in the demo. As stated in the solution steps, you need to click on setup. In quick find object manager, click on object manager, search for user. An administrator may have created a custom field under this user object fields and relationship. You would be able to find it with the data type hierarchy. So you need to troubleshoot the issue by removing the affected username from every other user's hierarchy field. This is how you can troubleshoot the issue and resolve. Here are the references. You can refer the BMC Helix Remedy Force documentation. These are the links you can follow. Moving on to summary. We have seen configuration of Remedy Force users, how to edit and create a user. We have also checked deactivation of user. You cannot delete a user. However, you can deactivate it from your org. Before deactivating the user, we also checked the consideration points. Also, we checked the impact of user deactivation on data. I hope this webinar was helpful to you. Remember, this webinar will be available in our YouTube channel. In case if you have any query, please feel free to contact our technical support team via wave, phone, or email. Also, do not forget to follow us on our social media accounts, BMC communities, Facebook, and Twitter. Thanks for watching this webinar about user management best practices.